Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far, and as the days are ticking down to the opening weekend, Scump has revealed just his excitement for the season, Rambo's explaining the issues that OpTic face at the kickoff, and Crimsix with a few spicy words for Shotzzy. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and let's just dive straight on in. Firstly, this from Arcitys. Definitely a lot of talk really about what FaZe are up to, because of course their substitute now is Priestahh. He's been a player in the league for the last several years, was on Seattle Surge for example last year, now he's the bench player for FaZe, with their former bench player Simp going to Seattle the other way around, and obviously doing great things already. So Priestahh in an interesting boat really, because of course a great player, like a really serviceable player, someone who can really like dirty work type player, fills in whatever role is required, but in 4v4 as of late wasn't so easy to really master a particular role. He was great in 5 versus 5, and of course a world champion for United back in 2019, but and really the perfect substitute player for FaZe. If they ever need anyone in any role to step in, Priestahh I'm pretty sure can do the job, and also gets on great with the rest of the guys, has a great relationship as Arcitys' twin brother, not identical of course, but Priestahh seems to have that itch to compete again to some degree. So where exactly will he go and what will he do? Because as he explains right here, Warzone or Challengers. So you could argue one of these is more attractive than the other right now, but still, even Warzone isn't exactly in a great spot, I'd imagine, and to be fair, at least Challengers is now finally out of the way. It might not be in the greatest situation, but still, there are games, there are matches going on, there is the Elite going on right now, so at least there are some positives to take away from that. I guess we'll stay tuned to see where Priestahh goes. This also from Arcitys, right, because we did talk a few weeks ago, the Big P, that being Gunless, of course I'm now on Los Angeles Guerrillas, was a teammate of Priestahh over at Seattle Surge last year, starts playing pubs and shoots back now. Guy is back on his BS, right, basically saying, look, it's Big P's always been this guy, Gunless always been the guy, he's always grinding, he's always grinding pubs, he's always grinding everything about the Call of Duty, and so far in this title didn't really seem to be the case. That was somewhat of a concern to me, right, that some of these guys that are always grinding the game, like they can't really seem to do it so much in Vanguard. Now if Gunless is back on his BS in this sense, then maybe that's going to be the key, right, because if Gunless isn't grinding the game, we always saw this with Scump back in the day as well. Whenever he enjoyed a Call of Duty and he was playing public matches on it and having a good time, those were generally his best games. And I think really that kind of correlates, right? Because if people are having more fun in playing a game, then they're probably going to end up being better at it in the long run. So maybe a positive really for Los Angeles Guerrillas fans, because certainly the kickoff was not ideal for them. On the other side of Los Angeles, you've got the Thieves. This I thought was pretty cool from Envoy, of course, definitely taking some of the lessons to heart that I guess Hex taught him on the content front, right? Because he did some good stuff when he was on OpTic Chicago last year. Even though it's a week late, kickoff classic vlog almost ready to go. Just brings me back to the days really where when there was an event or any real event that was going on, as soon as the event finished, it'd be nade shots, Scump, they'd all go back to their house and they just do a rundown vlog of how the weekend went. It was always really entertaining. Don't really get to see all that much of that anymore, frankly. Maybe the content is kind of into proper produced podcasts nowadays, rather than just casual videos the guys will upload to their YouTubes, but it's cool to see maybe some of that stuff coming back. Octane, for example, did a great job of that, I'm pretty sure, the last year or so as well, but maybe can't find the motivation to do content at the present time, unfortunately. But Envoy maybe taking up that mantle. This is also from Crone, a rookie ladder plus MVP ladder for the season. This I thought was pretty exciting. Crone mentioned this to me a few days ago, that, because of course the CDL don't really do Rookie of the Year. Well, okay, they talk about it on stream and on broadcast, but they never actually do an official Rookie of the Year award, which maybe some other sports do. Last year we would say, okay, yes, Insight number 1, Standy probably number 2, that's probably about right. Now, it seems like what Crone's plan is pretty much every stage and every major, but, there is the option to just do after week 3, plus after the majors. I think I just voted to update this every single major, right, and just say, okay, after this major, this is kind of where things are looking in terms of MVP of the year, Rookie of the Year candidates as well. Just of course, it does depend to some degree who wins the event. And also nowadays, they're not calling it Stage 1 and Major 1. It's just Major 1. There's no Stage 1 anymore. I kind of, couldn't get my head around this a little bit. But the idea is that these matches we're going to have from February the 4th onwards are just qualification matches for the major. So it is effectively group play for the major, but instead of doing those group play matches at the event, as you would do a few years ago at an MLG event, it would just be all crammed into one weekend. It's now done over the course of like 3 or so weeks, and then you get the massive bracket on the weekends. So effectively they're all considering the Major 1, Major 2, Major 3. So yes, the stages, like the weeks, they don't really exist anymore in the same way that they did last year. It's basically the same, but they're just calling them something different, which maybe makes more sense in the long run anyway. Just before we talk about Scump, I wanted to say, you guys probably noticed the camera quality just got markedly worse. For some reason, with my new camera, when I use it on this laptop, it just freezes for no reason so often. I don't know what happens. So anyway, using the old camera now, brought it just in case. So unfortunately, we're going to have to pull it out. But anyway, let's dive into what Scump had to say, because he's is definitely very excited for this opening weekend to get underway. I'm pretty sure OpTic play on the 5th and then the 6th and then probably the 13th after that. They have 5 matches, of course, over 3 weeks, as do every other team. And Scump's very excited to get underway. Of course, I thought it was interesting what he had to say to Rambo here, really, about, well, some of the issues that they faced at the Kickoff Classic, especially that series up against Los Angeles Thieves, the only one they played on the weekend. Scump, of course, apologising to some degree for some of the mistakes he made on the Gather 2 and the way the Tuscan played out, but also Rambo's thoughts on the pacing that really was letting OpTic down. The fact that on LAN, teams generally slow down who they tend to play against compared to what they're playing in scrims, and therefore using their kind of pacing and their very fast-paced gameplay they use in their scrims in the real matches meant that they got a little bit too separated, and then they got caught apart, and that kind of is what let them down in the Tuscan at the end of the day. And also Scump's advice really to Rambo for getting away from some of the hate that happens on social media when an L comes through.
Dude, I'm so excited I'm so excited for the season to start, man. I'm so hyped. Is that 10 days? Really?
I got my first my first angry OpTic fan tweets after our loss the other day. It's been a while. I got one of those.
I'll tell you what I didn't do. I did not go on Twitter.
No. I mean, like, it's not like I got a lot, but it's like, bro, when you get tweets of like after one match to start years, like, replace the coach. I'm like, oh my god, bro.
I stayed off of Twitter.
Coming for the neck right off the bat. Oh, brother, it's like, Jesus. Yeah, I mean, losing, like, that's what everyone needs to understand.
Oh.
I'll say this a million times this year. We could lose, I mean, obviously, we would be able to win champs by losing every single match, but we could basically get, let's say, top 4, top 5, even top 6 at every event this year, and if we won champs, I would consider a successful year.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I think anyone would consider that a successful year, right?
Yeah. I mean, in general, like, it was a big pacing issue. Like, even low to hard points. I mean, technically, we made one really big mistake on P3 on Gavu, and when we had the start we just couldn't afford to make a mistake like we did.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Whenever I spawned in the back and ran forward.
Yeah, that was a bad one.
That was not good.
And then the tusk to me was just, it was a lot of us sprinting and dying. I feel like generally we have a good understanding what we need to do. We're just, first match, everyone's getting a little too quick, and people generally play a lot slower on land, which I was kind of curious to see what was going to happen. Because, I mean, based on what we played online, the only team that we saw that was playing at a very slow pace was Minnesota. Compared to all the other teams in Scrim.
So Rambo certainly knows what he's talking about. Obviously, as the new coach for the OpTic, well, Texas team as it is going into this year. Sender was there last year. Of course, he's still helping out on that front. Definitely were some interesting questions about the vetoes that OpTic chose this weekend. Very early doors. Rambo makes it clear once again that, he's not interested. Well, of course, he's interested in winning championships, but his number one is winning champs at the end of the year. That, of course, is the ultimate goal for every team, including the OpTic Texas guys. But, it's an interesting mindset, right, from Rambo, right? Like, if we come 4th every event, it doesn't matter as long as we win champs. But, still, maybe that's, maybe that gets in your head in the sense, okay, we came 4th this event, but at least we're still going to win champs, right? So maybe it's not the greatest mindset from that perspective, but it'll probably work out relatively well for these guys on the whole. And definitely Rambo has some interesting takes and insight really to how the game is played. And some mistakes certainly. But on the pacing front, I thought was interesting because pacing has been something to discuss with a lot of teams, an issue like Minnesota Rokkr when they made their changes before. A lot of talk about the fact that they were too separated, right, in terms of their pacing. We saw that it feels to some degree this past weekend, especially in the, not even just the respawns, but also the search and destroy, that there were so many rounds on that Desert Siege where Dashy would just be last alive. Every round he'd get like a couple of kills, then he'd go down. It just felt like they should have been playing in such a way as to not let those situations transpire every single time where Dashy's always the last alive because the guys are getting, well, first blooded without getting a trade through. So definitely still some options for those guys to improve on that front. This also did want to mention, because Lineman comes out with kind of the cards, right, for the weekend. I'll share these in a couple of minutes time here because very nice indeed. From once again, Dashy had a ridiculous series, honestly, for that one. Of course, well, didn't really work out. As I say, in that search and destroy, a lot of the kills he was getting were arguably not crucial to winning the rounds, right? But it wasn't necessarily his fault because he was last alive. But this has been noted that, okay, they came top 8 technically at this event, and that was, Chrome points out, Tim the Tapman back in November now, when he, replies to Scump with, "You're pretty good at Call of Duty," and maybe this is when the Tim the Tapman curse started to come through. He tweeted this out back in, May as well, last year as well. "You better not have cursed us, Tim," and then here we go, enjoy the games. Doesn't really work out well for them, because of course we've seen this, right? right, many times. If you guys are unfamiliar with the Tim the Tatman curse, it happened again yesterday. Tim, your jigs, 49ers up 17-7, and I looked up the result of this, and the 49ers lost 20-17. So just phenomenal stuff. The guy does it again, and maybe these comments to OpTic have kind of, well, put them in a curse. So maybe there's some truth to this. I don't really know. It's a difficult one to say, but yeah, even Sasha mentions it as well here. I can't believe it. Tim the Tatman literally jinxed us. Had to witness another breakdown as a result. Unfortunate stuff, all things considered. This also wanted to mention for you guys, because this I thought was pretty spicy, frankly. It was like Crimsix having a few words to say for Shotzzy. There was a set of 8s, I imagine, going on last night. Crimsix and Shotzzy ended up on the other team to each other, and yeah, Crim gets a nice little 4 pieces, absolutely having on Bacage. We saw, honestly, up against, what was it, Boston, right, at the kickoff, when Crimsix was kind of the star of the show on Bacage. A bit of a surprise, given, his, like, legendary status as a player, but you'd imagine, like, it wouldn't be the veterans taking over the fastest paced map in the entire game. But, yeah, Crim gets a nice piece up against Shotzzy here. Shotzzy goes for some crazy movement, doesn't work out, and Crim has a couple of words to say.
One's tower.
Okay, looking for Pred.
Tower.
Pred was the first guy that got, yeah, Pred is going to zero now. Zero now. Z under you, zero.
Yeah, he's bottom barn. Yeah, he's trying to flip. Yeah.
Nice. Watching like
Plaid.
A-bomb. Nice. We're missing it.
Yeah, get the f off me, rap. Who's next? Pred? I think I flipped him.
No, nothing in the back. That's square.
Right tank, one shot. Right tank, nice. Hole.
So a couple of nice line man cards as we finish out the video. First of all, these, of course, the OpTic ones. Scump didn't have the greatest series in the world. Not sure what, I guess these are new headshots, right, for this year. I haven't seen this one before from Scump, so I thought it was pretty funny. Dashy, of course, with, in theory, a monster series. But, of course, we saw the stats didn't really translate too much into reality. But yeah, maybe the pacing, I guess, between some of these guys wasn't ideal. Definitely because, if Dashy's got crazy stats, the rest of the guys haven't. Maybe indicates that Rambo might be onto something there in his analysis that he did. This also, the Atlanta FaZe guys, right, kind of crazy to think about, that both OpTic and FaZe came top 8 of this event, losing in that second round on the winner side. And yeah, Cellium had a great series. The rest of the guys, not really so much. How often do you see Simp have a 0.6 in control? Because Simp last year, his average control KD was like a 1.2, 1.3 or something. It was just ridiculous. Like, this guy would go off every single time. So maybe this year could be a different story for some of these guys. Shout out Lyman once again. And speaking, of course, of Dashy, like, yeah, this guy's pretty disgusting at every single game he plays. Playing a lot of Valorant lately as well. I'll just show you this entire race, to be honest, because he gets a collab on the first guy here on, what is this, Facturite, the new map, and gets a collateral on the first couple of guys, then takes down the third guy, and then gets a collateral on the fifth guy as well, on the fourth and fifth guy as well. So, yeah, pretty insane clip, frankly. Now, who knows, if Dashy's got the sniper in hand in any game, seems to be he's pretty disgusting with it, and we imagine he's going to be back in business as well with the sniper rifle for OpTic Texas at the upcoming opening weekend. But very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit in a like button and tell us YouTube gods this is a good video, and as like you should see it as well, and help grow the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you much as always, take care, and I will see you next time.